Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick, and welcome to another episode of Higher Energetic Resonance Inspirations. This week is a deep dive into mindset. What creates our mindset? How does it affect our life? Can we alter our mindset if we want to? And what practices and tools can we use to help us make that shift? From Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So let's begin. Start with a quote from James Allen from As a Man Thinketh. A man's mind may be likened to a garden which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild, but whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein and will continue to produce their kind. So what is mindset? Mindset is the motor that shapes your life, your program, your belief system. It's what informs every aspect of your life. What you think about yourself, what you think about others, what you think about the world, what you believe is possible or impossible are all formed by your mindset. And Stanford University psychologist Carol S. Dweck wrote a book called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. And she surmised that there were two basic mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So for instance, if you have a fixed mindset, you believe that your abilities are fixed traits and therefore they cannot be changed. And if you have a growth mindset, you believe that your talents and your abilities can be developed over time through effort and persistence. So what do you think you've got, a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? If I ask you two questions, do you believe that you can change? And do you believe it's possible to improve your intelligence, to learn new skills and have a different life? If you think those things are true statements of yourself, then you have a growth mindset. So, where do we get our mindset from? Where does it all begin? Referring back to Dweck's book, she reveals that there are primary sources, two primary sources, and they occur in childhood. And it stems from whether you are praised for your efforts or you are labelled because of your efforts. So, for instance, if you label a child as smart, that in itself is actually going to promote a fixed mindset because the child will think, okay, I'm smart, this is what I can do. And they won't necessarily go to any lengths to develop themselves any further because they believe that they can do it and this is what they can do. As opposed to if you praise a child and praise the process that they've gone through, you acknowledge the effort they've put into to accomplish their task. So you say you studied really well and look at what you've accomplished because of what you studied. So they see that the praise comes from the effort that they make that gives them the result as opposed to who they are that creates the result itself. Therefore reaffirming their effort and the strategy they used, which they can control and improve over time. And then in adulthood, growth-minded people are then more likely to persevere because they recognise an opportunity to learn and grow when they're faced with any kind of obstacle and not just thinking about the final result. Fixed mindset people are more likely to give up in the face of challenging circumstances because they just don't think they've got what it takes. And in that respect, they're usually constantly seeking validation to prove their worth, not just to others, but also to themselves. And when I was looking at this, that last sentence really stuck out to me because this is what I believe I'm seeing in society, that people have fixed mindsets. People will say things like, this is just how life is, there's nothing I can do, this is me, take it or leave it. Or they're completely unwilling, like, I can't be bothered, or, it's too hard, I can't do it. And then elaborating on that, more aspects of a fixed mindset are people who are living in fear, people who are followers, easily led, they want to be led, they lack awareness of their personal power. They have very short-term thinking, so they're thinking about instant gratification and what they can get now, what they can achieve now, They're not prepared to put in the work and wait and the discipline and the commitment that it would require to create and achieve a long-term goal. They have a scarcity mindset, so very limited thinking and very limited outlook and expectations. Thinking about not having enough love, not having enough time or money, and especially that there's not enough money or there's only a finite amount of money. So that then cultivates that greed mindset and that dog-eat-dog attitude. So out there to kind of grab the few opportunities for yourself before someone else comes and gets them. So what is creating these mindsets, societal mindsets? A quote from David Goggins: "Get off your phones, computers, and shut the TV off. Don't let this fast-paced world dull your sharpest weapon, that weapon being your mind." And if we think of the way that society is shaped, education, religion, government, propaganda, especially from mass media, television, movies, radio, newspapers, magazines, books, records, video games, the internet. Mass media is owned by a very few companies. I think the count is 5 at the moment. And they imagine the power that so few have, and they can shape the direction of society. From George Orwell: "The people will believe what the media tells them to believe." And a little bit more research from a book which is called Inside the Human Brain: How Watching TV Changes Neural Pathways versus Reading a Book. A more recent study from 2015, published in the journal Cerebral Cortex, revealed that watching too much TV could actually alter the composition of the human brain. When researchers studied 276 children between the ages of 5 and 18, they discovered the more time spent in front of the TV, the thicker the frontal lobe region of their brains developed. It's the same area known to lower language processing and communication, which researchers suspect is also why they had a lower verbal IQ. But that wasn't all. The hypothalamus, septum, sensory motor region, and visual cortex were all enlarged. These are where emotional responses, arousal, aggression, and vision are processed. From Malcolm X: "The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and make the guilty innocent, and that's power, because they control the mind of the masses." From Edward Bernays' book Propaganda: "We are governed, our minds are moulded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of." Another quote from the same book: "The American motion picture is the greatest unconscious carrier of propaganda in the world today. It is a great distributor for ideas and opinions. The motion picture can standardize the ideas and habits of a nation because pictures are made to meet market demands. They reflect, emphasize, and even exaggerate broad popular tendencies rather than stimulate new ideas and opinions. The motion picture avails itself only of ideas and facts which are in vogue. As a newspaper seeks to purvey news, it seeks to purvey entertainment." So as a result of that, where are we? I believe this is why we are in societal mental slavery. People are incapable of thinking for themselves and also are apathetic to make any effort. They're happy to be told what to do and not to develop any autonomy or take on any responsibility. The majority of people are dumbed down, demotivated, self-centered. A famous quote from Bob Marley's song: "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds." And from the book Beyond Mental Slavery, A Guide to Breaking Free and Thinking Clearly, from Steve Gilman: "Quick rationalizations provide obvious but untrue reasons for our beliefs and actions. Biases prevent us from examining new ideas, and desires push us to win arguments rather than search for truth. We are led around by these parts of our minds that we're only vaguely aware of. We can either use the mind or be used by it." And we understand the power of the mind, the power of hypnosis and entrainment. And especially for people who spend hours a day watching the TV, they need to be aware of entrainment and what that causes for their mind. The screen flicker induces a hypnotic trance state. And that's why if you're sitting in front of TV or even any screen sometimes, you'll feel sleepy watching it. And what it's doing, it's lowering your brain waves to a lower alpha state, which is commonly associated with meditation and deep relaxation. So under this trance state, your subconscious mind becomes highly suggestible, and you're not able to think because you get overloaded with so much information. There's no time to process what you're watching. The conscious mind is eliminated from the equation, and the information then becomes part of your belief system. So we can see the techniques that mass media has used to control the masses' minds. And this is great information for us because we can also use that same process to then reprogram our subconscious with positive, empowering information. So if we want new thoughts and feelings, we must take stock of what media we're consuming, or ideally stop altogether. Changing our mindset as an individual means we can change the world. So as you sow in your subconscious mind, so shall you reap in your body and environment. From Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So according to cognitive neuroscientists, we're really only aware of 5% of our cognitive activities. So the majority of our decisions, the actions, emotions, and our behaviours are dependent on 95% of our brain activity done on a subconscious level. A lot of it will rely on something that's called the adaptive unconscious, which is all the ways that our brains will understand the world that the mind and the program must negotiate. So the adaptive unconscious makes it possible for us to do things without thinking. So for example, every time that you drive a car, you don't have to think about every little micro movement that you're making in order to get from A to B and turn corners and stop in emergencies, because all of that is done subconsciously. So we can see how important programming and reprogramming and being aware of what is in our subconscious mind is in order to live the life that we want to live, and also to change our mindset and change the results that we have in the world. So how do we go about changing this? One of the ways that we can use is affirmation, and affirmation is a powerful way to shift your internal chatter to positive chatter, particularly if you're always saying something negative about yourself or kind of chastising yourself or have a negative outlook on the world. If we are to use affirmations, it's important that we structure the wording of affirmations, and affirmations need to be written in the present tense, because your subconscious mind is not going to be able to differentiate between a negative and a positive, or between what's real and imagined. So for example, if we want to be a success, then what we should focus on is saying that I am successful, as opposed to saying I don't want to fail, because what the subconscious mind is hearing is the word fail and not even the word don't. Affirmations are also especially powerful if you use I am. From Saint Germain, when the individual says I am, he is using the creative attribute of the Godhead and announcing creation at his particular point in the universe. The vibratory action of the word I am, either in thought or spoken word, is the release of the power of creation, and whatever quality follows that decree is instantly imposed on the electronic substance in the ethers. Neville Goddard: I am wealthy, poor, healthy, sick, free, confined, were first of all impressions or conditions felt before they became visible expressions. Your world is your consciousness objectified. Waste no time trying to change the outside. Change the within or the impression, and the without or expression will take care of itself. When the truth of this statement dawns upon you, you will know that you have found the lost word or the key to every door. I am, your consciousness, is the most magical lost word, which was made flesh in the likeness of that which you are conscious of being. Also from Neville Goddard, from The Power of Awareness: I will be is a confession that I am not. The Father's will is always I am. Until you realize that you are the Father, there is only one I am, and your infinite self is that I am. Your will is always I will be. So examples of that is I am successful as opposed to I will be successful. will pushes things out into the future. And as Neville Goddard says, saying that you will be is affirming that you are not in this present moment. If you want to be strong, you're saying, I am strong, instead of I will be strong. If you want to be popular and liked, you say, I am popular and liked, instead of I will be. And also to add to that, and also I'll reiterate on this later, is when we're saying these affirmations, it's very easy, and it will happen to all of us, that the ego mind will come in and go, you're not, in the present moment, because no, we're not in the present moment, but the only time is the present moment. So we have to feel into, as much as we can, what we're affirming in that moment. So what does success feel like that? What does that look like? What does it smell like? As many of those emotions and senses that we can bring into that moment will help us really ground that affirmation into our subconscious. Visualization. So visualization is a simple technique that you can use to create a strong mental image of a future event, and it directs your subconscious mind to be aware of the end goal that you have in mind. Seeing yourself succeeding then helps you believe that you can and you will have that success, remembering that the subconscious mind cannot differentiate between real and imagined. So utilize again as many of your senses as you can when you're visualizing: your sight, your smell, your touch, your taste, the hearing. From Napoleon Hill, hold a picture of yourself long and steadily enough in your mind's eye, and you will be drawn toward it. From Florence Scovel Shinn, man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. From Stephen Covey, in effective personal leadership, visualization and affirmation techniques emerge naturally out of a foundation of well thought through purposes and principles that become the center of a person's personal life. And from Proverbs 29 verse 18, where there is no vision, the people perish. And meditation. We all know the benefits of meditation, and if we're serious about our development in all areas, it really should become a daily staple practice in our life, especially if we want to receive positive gains from our subconscious mind. You're gifting yourself time to quiet the mind so that your subconscious mind can relax and organize your thoughts. You think in the world where we are, we're overwhelmed by distractions and thousands of different thoughts and ideas and emotions every day. So just taking time to be still and allow them to kind of reformulate themselves. If we just think back to what they said about the reason why TV is so effective is because this information is coming in so fast, you don't get a time to kind of process what you're seeing. And it just goes and plops itself into your subconscious mind, and then you live it out, not realizing what has entered into your mind. And if you want a deeper dive into the benefits of meditation, I covered this in episode 3, Meditation Tuning into Spirit. A quote from Ajahn Brahm: meditation is like a gym in which you develop the powerful mental muscles of calm and insight. And going deeper, theta state and subconscious communication. So alpha waves is where we're at when we're zoned out and we're watching TV, and alpha waves are between 8 and 13 hertz. So this wave often occurs when we're awake and resting comfortably, responding to any visual stimulation, or actively thinking about something. And then if we go into theta waves, which resonate at between 4 and 8 hertz, this is when a person is in a light sleep state or dreaming, as well as in a relaxed meditative state of mind. And people will refer to the autopilot state as a theta state. And the theta state is associated with increased access to the subconscious mind. This means that it's easier to reprogram the subconscious and release limiting beliefs and adopt more empowering beliefs. Also, if you can activate your brain to vibrate at a theta brainwave, your mind opens up to infinite intelligence, and that's where all the ideas from the universe are delivered into your subconscious mind. So how can we help ourselves as we embark on this awareness and reprogramming of our mindset. Things that we can do on a daily basis. Pay attention to your words and thoughts, and also acknowledge the power of your words and the power of your thoughts. Take a note, write down what it is that you want to achieve. Believe that you can make a change, and then also that you deserve the shift in your life. This is again bringing you out of that fixed mindset of who you are into the growth mindset of who you can be. Also give yourself time, allow the change to happen on your watch. See the value in your journey, and it gives you an opportunity to actually notice your progress and also journal your progress. Notice the shifts, reward yourself, celebrate them. Practice gratitude as a daily practice. Be thankful for where you are. Be thankful that you are aware of what you're doing and what you're gifting yourself. So many people live a life in such an unconscious way. Be grateful that you had the wisdom to actually see, and also the self-love and the discipline to actually see yourself and want better for yourself. See the lessons that come in everything that show up in your life. So any setbacks, if you think that you're going over the same lesson again and again, allow that to happen, and also see what you can learn from any kind of setbacks or troubles or challenges. Sometimes your setbacks can be a misdirection. It can be inner guidance, higher guidance, telling you that you need to just kind of move, you need to pivot slightly, and there's something actually better for you than you even imagined for yourself. Embrace those challenges. Don't shy away from them. Every time that you get through something, you grow exponentially. And also take care of yourself, your mind, take care of the environment that you live in. Exercise your body, exercise your mind. Go for long walks, listen to great music, surround yourself with others who are on a similar mindset and have a similar mindset to you. They will inspire you to keep working. Speak to people who are a few steps ahead of you. Engage a coach as well. There's only so much that we can do ourselves. But if you work with someone that will hold you accountable, one, they'll be able to see your blind spots, but then also you will have a level of wanting to achieve certain goalposts within a certain amount of time. And particularly if you've invested in a coach, you want to get a return on your investment. And they want to see you win also. And also how long it takes, it really depends on you. Just know that if you've started on the journey, it is a journey and you will get there as long as you keep on with it. The current state of your subconscious, your minds and your beliefs and your behaviours, how long that you've been in that state of mind and how willing you are to let go of the things that are holding you back will also reflect on how long this takes you. How much effort are you going to put into your reprogramming? Is it something that you can do every single day? Is it something that you think you deserve? And how much of your subconscious mind do you want to reprogram? Start with little bits as you see yourself expanding and changing and your life changing. That in itself will motivate and inspire you to move forward. From Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. There are no limitations to the mind except those we acknowledge. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. From Amit Ray and the book Mindfulness, Living in the Moment, Living in the Breath. Mind is a flexible mirror. Adjust it to see a better world. Steve Maraboli. Once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. And from Buddha. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. Well, I hope you enjoyed that deeper dive into mindset, and do stay tuned for a theta meditation that I've prepared for you. If you want to get in contact with me, info@carolmaywhittick.com. My website is carolmaywhittick.com. CarolMaywhittick. I'm Casmic, Cazmick, on Instagram, Carol May Whittick on Facebook, Her Conversations and Inspirations on Telegram. Until next week, enjoy this meditation. What are you trying to bring into your life? What is it that you want to change? Use these moments to experience what it is to have what it is that you desire. See yourself with the changes. Bring to mind the smells, the sights, the feelings, the temperature. What are you hearing? Make it all as real as possible. Bask in the moment. Know that you already have it. If you desire it, if you can see it, it's yours.